Hello and welcome to the Sterling Podcast. I'm Julia Williams, your host. Now, today I am super excited because I am joined by Amanda Allott here today from PR Associates. Welcome, Amanda. How are you?
Good morning, Julia. Thank you. I'm really well, and I'm thrilled to have been invited to join you. Thank you.
And we're super excited to have you. So tell me, you work for PR Associates, Amanda. Tell us a little bit about, who are PR Associates and what do they do?
So, PR Associates is a building consultancy company that provides services to schools. And that's the bread and butter of the work of the business. And there's sort of three main areas to it. So, we do a lot of project work with schools. So, our team of building surveyors will support schools when they are doing large capital projects. So we work with LA maintained schools, voluntary aided schools. We also work with academies. So regardless of the sort of funding mechanism that schools have, we can support them with their capital projects. So we'll do feasibility studies for them, help them with their SIF bids, getting all the planning applications and the permissions sorted so they're as successful as possible with the bids. And then we'll project manage those and run the tenders for the schools and see the actual project through on site. So we can fully manage those sorts of large projects, keeping the schools obviously involved, but we can take all of that work away from them so they can really focus on their core business of the teaching and the learning and looking after the young people in the schools.
So you really do take away the stress then from all
We're
of that.
trying to. I mean, building work will always have an element of stress and there'll probably always be some unforeseen things. But when those things happen, we are absolutely there on it, saying to the schools, don't worry, there will be a solution. We'll find our way through it together and give them the best solution. And we're so used to working in live schools.
Yeah.
Sometimes you've got to do work when it's a live school. I mean, I remember working in a school myself and having it re-roofed as a live school. And there are ways of doing it. But that's when, you work together with the school. You've got us doing the project management, you've got your lead contractor and you've got the school, and it's having that meeting, that communication and really understanding what the priorities are for the school and making sure everybody understands it and follows through. So the project work's one strand. Another strand is we offer annual service level agreements to schools,
Right.
and our team there help them with statutory compliance. So it's all the legal stuff schools are required to have in place to make buildings safe and comply with the legislation. So fire alarms, all the Legionella, the water quality works that they need to do, anything like that, we can support the schools. We go in, we do annual reviews, we help and show them how to be compliant. Our schools love our blue book.
Ooh,
And that's where we have contractors who want to come and work with schools, and we take them through a vetting process to make sure that they've got, key things in place, their professional accreditations, level of insurance, their safeguarding policies, that sort of a thing. And then schools who have a service level agreement with us have access to those contractors. So when the school might be doing their own works direct, it's not a big project, they don't have to worry about the CDM regs and how they comply, and they can engage the contractor direct. They can use one of those contractors, and that again just makes the process and the due diligence checks that the school needs to do just a little bit easier for them. And then the sort of third strand to the business is we offer asbestos management services. So, a lot of the schools in Worcestershire still have asbestos within them. And when you start doing your capital works, you often need your R&D survey to understand what's there and how it's going to impact on the project. So we do surveys, but we also help with schools and their asbestos management plans that they need to have in place. And we also offer training in those areas so that we can equip the school staff to fulfil their responsibilities, and they understand how to do, for example, the
Yeah.
monitoring checks on asbestos that they might have in their school setting. So they all complement each other, the sort of three main offerings that we have as a company.
Do you know what? I love hearing that, because the one thing that stood out to me the whole time is the fact that you kept mentioning working together, communication, and that is so important when you're working in schools. And if you think about it, like you said, they need to focus on actually teaching the children. So the fact that you can come in and help them and support them and actually keep them compliant, which is, a legal requirement anyway, is, I'm sure, a breath of fresh air, should I say, for them. So you're fairly new into this role, I believe. Is that right?
I am. I joined the company towards the end of 2025. It's a new role in the organisation. I'm the business manager,
Right.
and so I do a lot of work on the business
Oh, right.
rather than being well, rather than being in the business. So, we've got, lots of team members who are delivering the SLA and the project work and the asbestos work. But the primary focus for myself is working on the business and supporting Richard, who's the P of PR Associates. Um,
Oh,
and the R was Keith. And the reason the role was created was that PR Associates have been in business now 15 years. So 2025 was a massive year for the company. And Keith made a very big and difficult personal decision that it was time for him to retire and be non-operational in the business. And Richard and Keith approached me and said, would you join the business? And at the time, I was working in schools myself. But I'd known of the company for the 15 years because actually Richard is my other half. He's my partner in life. So I really understood
yeah.
PR Associates from one particular angle. I hadn't been in the business, but I
Mm.
knew of it, and I'd seen how the company had evolved over the years. And Keith and Richard, they are the P and the R of PR Associates, um, met many years ago supporting schools through Worcestershire County Council and the property services team.
Oh,
So they were doing similar aspects of work for the schools, but on behalf of the local authority. And they were sort of conscious of the feedback that they were getting from schools about their experiences. And they decided that they wanted to provide this work direct to schools themselves. And so they just started up the two of them bravely, thinking, gosh, can we make this work? And they did. And the company's evolved over those 15 years. So we're now a team of 12 people.
wow, 12. Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
And over the years, and I think what makes PR Associates so special is that, the people who come and join the company, they really do have to be special. I mean, obviously we need their technical abilities, their
Yeah.
specialist skills, but equally, or if not even more important, is the type of people that they are.
Yeah.
And are they able to deliver for the company what we know schools really, really need? Um, so, of course, for me, when they approached me last year, that was also highly flattering. That it's like, okay, you want me to come and join this amazing group of people. Um, but it was too good an offer to miss.
Mm.
And, I've spent a long time, about 17 years working in schools. And I thought this is a really good opportunity for me to, use everything that I've understood about schools and apply it in a new area and
Yeah.
use my business skills and sort of take it forward. So, it feels really exciting to have that
I can
sort of
feel
new,
your enthusiasm now, to be honest with you.
yeah, loving it.
With your wealth of experience anyway in education and putting the two together, it's a no-brainer really, isn't it? I mean, like you say, working in schools it's quite unique. it's not like it is a business, but it's not like a normal business. So actually, I think you stepping into that role, you know, 15 years. Where's the next 15 years going to take us?
Well, that's the exciting thing, actually, and that's been one of the main priorities that Keith and Richard wanted the role to support the business with. And we've got some really exciting things planned. I mean, next week at our monthly team meeting with everybody in the business, we're having an away day,
Oh,
and
wow.
we're focusing on how PR Associates evolves. You know, we've done 15 years and, you know, we still want to be around in another 15 years and we still want to be relevant. And clearly the world and the priorities for schools will have changed over the 15 years because they weren't the same 15 years ago as they are today. But so what we do as a company may well change over those 15 years, but I think the need and the schools will have for support, so again, they can remain focused on their top priorities, will remain. So yes, and our away day will be working with the team about, well, how do we evolve and how do we take all of that forward?
I love that. Do you know, I love the fact that you say you're taking the team and you're having a away day, because it means that all of you together are very inclusive, working on the business and probably valuing everybody's opinion, and it's all coming together. One thing that really strikes me talking to Amanda is the fact that you seem to be very values led in terms of a business, and you know, the culture, you know, you seem very, it's quite inspiring really, just listening to you. You know, tell me a bit about that.
Yeah, well, the values have always been really important to the business, and everybody in the business has shaped those. And one of the things we'll do when we meet next week is revisit those and make sure that they're all still relevant, and whether or not we need to add any others, you know, as the companies evolve. You know, integrity is at everything that we do, and being very respectful of each other and who we're working with, whether that's the schools, whether that's the lead contractors or subcontractors that we might be working with on projects. Um, we've already touched upon being very client focused and having that at the center of everything that we do. And, you know, we have very high standards. You know, you cannot afford to run any risks when you're supporting schools in major project work or asbestos or statutory compliance. So excellence is absolutely paramount to what we deliver, and being incredibly reliable and being there when the schools need us, which isn't always, you know, it's never going to be in standard working hours. And for example, when we're at peak times and we're doing the SIF bids for the academy schools, you know, that run up to that deadline in the middle of December, you know, it's a 7-day, you know, role delivering that and supporting them. And when they come in with a lastminute.com request and you do your absolute level best to get it over the line for them, you know, they know they can rely upon us because they know we've always got their best interests at heart and that we work really closely with them.
You can really feel that, you know, when I'm listening to you talk there, you can actually really feel that as a company, you are reliable. You do what you say, because it's just there as you're speaking. You know, it's the ethos, it's the culture, it's the values. Um, so a little bit, Birdie tells me that you've got an exciting project coming up. What is that?
We have. So this is all to support our schools who take out a service level agreement with us. And it's a portal product. It's called Assure Ed by PR Associates. And it's there to help them with their statutory compliance work. And it's our software. We've developed it ourselves, and it has been bespokely written with schools in mind.
Right.
and it's very customizable for the schools. So you don't have to have access to elements that aren't relevant to you. So it doesn't matter if you're a large multi-academy trust with a whole range of schools, large schools that have got multiple buildings, down to, one of the smaller primary schools that we have in Worcestershire that's literally just one building. Our
Mm.
software will meet your needs, and you only need to access the elements that are relevant to you. So it's going to help with demonstrating their statutory compliance. But it's going to be more than that, because data's only, we need data to demonstrate we are compliant,
Mm.
but, we can do so much more with that. So we're taking advantage of all of the new technology and what AI can offer for us. So developing things like when you get your very lengthy fire risk assessment reports, and particularly if you're a really large school, you might have, 50 plus pages to your report with lots of actions that you need to follow up on. And our software is going to enable us that, we can upload all of the documents, and then it'll scan through them, and it will then create in the portal individual tasks associated with any actions required from an assessment report. And then that enables the school to have a list of them. And then, as I know myself from having worked in schools, it isn't just one contractor who might necessarily resolve all of those actions. So you can then demonstrate when you've completed them, and you've got an ongoing checklist of what's completed and what's outstanding. And the reporting functionality. So, you can report back to your governing body and demonstrate your compliance, but also to help with the planning, the strategic planning that schools need to do, and what the costs might be of works going forward to help them with their budget setting. It's going to really help bring all of that together for them. And our very popular blue book, the contractor's information is going to be there, but also the ability for schools to communicate through the portal. So we
Yeah.
know that particularly for some of our smaller schools who have really small staff groups, they often want help, and sometimes will sort of loan out caretaking time. And so having this portal in Assure Ed that can give them a mechanism to do so will be another feature, and a very bespoke feature that you don't find in sort of other software that do similar things.
From what you're saying, that is going to be absolutely revolutionary for schools and actually save so much time for people, but also just help them, because sometimes, that's a minefield. Mistakes can be made, but by doing that, it's just going to be amazing, really. So, has it been launched? When is it going to be launched?
So we launch from April, which is our new SLA year for our
Ooh.
local authority maintained schools. We're just completing our testing phase in our schools who volunteered to support us with that. And it was really exciting, actually, because on Tuesday I spent the day with BASBM, the Birmingham Association of School Business Management, and we exhibited there. And it was fabulous talking to the Birmingham schools
Mm.
about what we were offering, and we were demonstrating the portal to them, and we got some amazing feedback. So we feel it's clearly hitting the mark with schools, and they're very excited. And as ever, one of the things we're very keen on, and particularly for our Worcestershire schools, because we know the funding
Mm.
levels for schools in Worcestershire have always been on the low side, and they have real challenges about how they make their budget stretch, because obviously most of their income goes on staffing,
Yeah.
and there's very little left for anything else. So we've always been very sensitive in terms of our price pointing positioning
Mm.
on all of the services that we offer. And, we think that this is accessible for all schools to sort of engage with us.
Just love it. I really do. It feels to me as if, as a company, though, you really do, you are quite forward thinking, you know. like you said, you've been around for 15 years. You mentioned the fact that things change, but you're obviously thinking ahead of the future. What's next? How can we help? The services we provide, the schools we help, what next for them? And I think it's just amazing just listening to that, really. So exciting times are ahead. Anything else that you've got in the pipeline that you want to share with us, Amanda?
I think it's just that ongoing relationship with schools and keeping in touch with them about where they're at and really understanding what their priorities are. I'm very much looking forward to going to the WASBM, the Worcestershire Association of School
Yeah.
Business Managers conference that's happening at the end of April. Very much hoping that we're going to be running a workshop there supporting the professional development of school business managers and looking at good estates management and what that looks like. So yeah, we're always interested in keeping in touch with schools. It's not just a sales type thing, but it's really understanding where are you at, what are your challenges, and is there anything we can help with that, or are we aware of others that might be able to sort of support you?
Love it. You know, to end this conversation, there's probably 4 key words. Just hope I can remember the 4 key words now that have stood out with talking to you. You know, working together. I know that's not a word, but working together. The trust, the relationship, and also communication. That really stands out for me through everything that you've talked about. Those are things. And I think working in the school environment, you need that more than ever. It's such a, for you as a business to go in and have that level of understanding to be able to work together, it just stands out. So thank you so much. It's been great talking to you today. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.